Hey guys, it's Tarkon again. You can tell I'm sitting somewhere else in my apartment right now, not in the office, but I'm in the living room area. That's my little hyacinth over there. If I'm doing this correctly, up more. Yeah, that one. It's not blooming any longer, which is probably a good thing because I couldn't breathe with that thing blooming, even though it smelled fantastic. It's going to be a quick video. There's something I wanted to share, and it's a very simple technique regarding the manifesting of money, which I know a lot of you are interested in. I think the two things that people are most interested in manifesting are going to be money and love. And oftentimes with love, there's the question of attracting specific people, and can you do it? And the answer is yes, but that's for another video. We're going to discuss that another time. Yeah, so one very specific thing, and like I said, I'm going to keep it short today. Something you want to try with your money manifestations, with your practice, is very simply to keep a gratitude journal, or rather make a list, all right, a gratitude list, specifically about the money that you have manifested in your life. All right, I'll give you an example. I have my television set over there, and I remember when I didn't have a television set, and I wanted one. I wanted a nice big one like that, and I had some rinky-dinky old thing I'd had for about 10 years, and I remember that I went out, and I had about $600 to spend, and I found a good model for about $500. And I've had that TV now for maybe 4 years or something. And it still works beautifully. It's excellent quality. And I was able to manifest the money at that time. In fact, it was cheaper than, it was below my budget at the time. So, and I'm still enjoying the television. And I look at it every day. I don't watch it every day, but I see it every day here in my apartment. And I say a little, I have a little moment of appreciation for it because it's there. And because I remember when I didn't have it and when I needed the money to get it, and the money was there, and I was able to get the money and still have money left over to get the television set after I got the television set. So that's one example. Another example is that I didn't have a car for 6 years. And I remember life was a little difficult. I had to take the bus everywhere. I couldn't go very far. Even for simple things like grocery shopping and whatnot. And then I came into some money, and one of the first things I did with that money, I got myself a car. And it was around the same time that I was able to move out of the city I was in because I no longer enjoyed living there. And I managed to take my car, the new car that I had, and drive it a distance to go explore some areas where I might want to live. And I had friends in those areas, so I was able to go visit them. And I hadn't seen them in a number of years either, so that was an extra added bonus. So I'm appreciative of that still, and I still live in the city now that I ended up moving to, and I love it here. Still love it. I've been here about 5 years now. Still appreciating that I live here, that I had the money to buy the vehicle and the money to move and to get all my stuff out here and to explore new places to live, and found the perfect place, as a matter of fact. Had the money to get an apartment, had the money for the move, right? Had the money for the car. So all of those things were things that I have manifested in my life. And whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, a little bit low, or I'm thinking, things aren't quite going the way I want them to go right now, they're not quite as smooth as they could be right now, I take a moment, I remember what I already have manifested in my life. Good things, things that I still enjoy. Even things that maybe aren't around anymore because I didn't need them anymore, but I enjoyed them when they were around. It's good to remember that because it gives you a little boost. Actually, it gives you quite a boost because it reminds you of the fact that you are powerful, that your thoughts do create, that you've done it before. You've done it before. And that's very important to remember, and it's a very powerful realization to make because when you look around, one of the things about keeping a gratitude journal and expressing gratitude every day for what you have in your life isn't just about sort of it's about training your mind to be more aware of the positive things in your life. Absolutely. To think more of solutions rather than problems, right? But there's another element to it, and that's to remind yourself of what you've already created for yourself. And you did it. Everything good in your life right now. Your house, your car, your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever it is, your dog, your children, your job that you love, whatever money you do have right now. If you're struggling, you do have money. If you look hard enough, you'll see that there's money there. You have things. You have a lot of things. Maybe you have your good health, right? You have things. Maybe you have great friends. You live in a great city. You manifested all of those things. And the very powerful message there is that if you've done it before, you can do it again. So no matter whatever you may be going through right now, if things are a little tough or tight, or you feel like they could be better, or even a lot better, just remember this one thing. It's very simple. I've done it before, I can do it again. And then look at the things that you have already manifested in your life. Be proud of them. Thank yourself for them, because you gave them to yourself. You manifested those things during moments when you understood your own power, or even if you didn't, you let go of your resistance long enough for those things to come into your life, and you should thank yourself for that. All right? So, try it out, specifically with money, but this could work with anything that you want to manifest. But this works for me with money too, especially money. All the things that I have that money has brought me in the past, right? I'm grateful for those things. And I remind myself that at the time I manifested the money to obtain those things, right? Or those circumstances. And then if I did it before, I can do it again. So give it a try. And it's very simple. It's not complicated. None of this stuff is complicated. You know, I had to remind myself to have fun today. I was engaged in an activity. It was getting a little stressful. Stressful, not stressful, but frustrating. And I remember that I was in my car, and I jumped out of the car for a minute, and there was a man there with his little boy. I think the kid must have been maybe, I don't know, 3. He was able to talk already. He was walking. He was very little. And I got out of my car. I had to get something out of my trunk, and the man came up with a little boy, and he said, "Listen, he wants to show you something." And I looked down, and I said, "How you doing, buddy?" And he had a little snail shell in his hand, and he just had to. His dad said he just had to show you this thing. I said, "Thank you. What is that you have there?" And we had a little conversation about it, and we talked about snails are delicious and all this stuff. And he looked at me like this, and then I said, "Well, thank you for sharing that with me." And we said goodbye, and I went along my way. And just for that brief moment, I had forgotten about whatever I was frustrated about. It was a nice, pleasant distraction at that moment from what I was thinking. All right, and in that moment, I was sort of wrapped up in something that I needed to be doing, or I was trying to find something. I was being frustrated, and I kept running around in my head like that hamster in a hamster wheel. And it's almost like the universe sent this little kid along to distract me from my own crap, right? And it worked. And I remember I walked away, and I had a little smile on my face. I said, "Thank you. Thank you for that, because I needed that, and now I'm okay. Now I'm okay," and I was okay, and then things just ran much more smoothly, right? So we can get in our own way. That's the point I'm trying to make. And we don't always have to wait for the universe to send us things to kind of get us back on the right track. The reason that we want to engage in a lot of these exercises, these sort of manifesting exercises, it's not so much to get the things that we want. The things that we want are already there, right? It's much more about training ourselves to distract ourselves from our own sort of monkey madness that goes on up in here, right? Because this is the stuff that keeps us feeling stuck. When we get frustrated about something that's really not that important in the long run, in the bigger scheme of things, not being able to find an address, or fighting traffic, or these kinds of things can seem frustrating. Often they're a sign that you're not really doing what you want to be doing. You're not on your path in that moment, or really what it is you're, more often than not, you're allowing yourself to get caught up in the circumstances around you in that moment. And it's an easy thing to do because it's something that we've practiced. Most of us have practiced that our whole lives. It was taught to us by our parents, the adults in our lives when we were children, society, the movies we watch it. I mean, it's all around us, right? The idea that life isn't good enough as it is and it could be better, and therefore buy this or engage in that, has a tendency to make us feel trapped because we're bombarded with those messages all the time. But sometimes there's a little boy that comes along with a snail shell that he wants to show you. Or something happens, right? And you become distracted from yourself, your own chatter, for just that minute, just for that moment, that one interaction, that one, just for that moment, you're able to stop. You're able to stop the chatter and the hamster wheel and the monkey mind screaming at you all the time. And that sometimes that can make all the difference. So one of the purposes for this exercise, and I'm being long-winded, I know, is, I just had a bunch of coffee too, is that when you feel like you're stuck, especially financially, or you feel like things aren't moving, and you sort of find your thoughts drifting towards that place where you're just constantly noticing what you don't have. One of the things you can do is to distract yourself, is to engage in an exercise like this. Look at what you've already brought into your life. Look at what you already have. Look at what money has already brought you, and realize and understand that you were the one who manifested that money at that time to get you the things that you now have and enjoy. All right, and this goes back to a quote I heard recently, which was, if I remember it correctly, it was, "Remember when you wanted the things that you now have." I don't know if that's the exact quote, but remember when you wanted the things that you now have, right? That's very important. So give it a try. Go around your house or wherever you are. Look at the things you have and just feel a moment of appreciation for them, and try to remember, go back in your mind when you didn't have those things, when you wanted them, and then they came into your life, all right? And try to feel the enjoyment of that again, if you can, going back to that moment. It will help you to understand and gain perspective on your situation now, and to understand that it's just a temporary situation. Whatever you feel you're going through right now, you've been through it before, and you've come out of it before, and you've created good things before. You've attracted good things into your life before, and you can do it again. You can do it again. So I want you to learn that. I want you to realize that. I want you to practice that every day. So if you feel you have any kind of success with this, or if you like this exercise, then leave something in the comments below. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. I hope you're all doing very well. Take care.